He's a nice guy.
Well, I guess you know him. You're stuck with you 4 years.
There you go. See?
So well, how come you're not still with him?
Because he had a transfer at the ER. He's the head one at the
right,
ER.
so that's where it changed.
Yeah, he's very smart, very good. I'll ask you on the street if you talk to him yet. If I had a chance of that. Okay, stop looking at her. Look at me. Never mind the eyes contact. Okay, news.
Yeah.
Do you watch the news?
Do I? Occasionally.
Occasionally, yeah.
No, not always.
No?
No. I'm in it more than I need to be, so I don't. I already know what I said.
Fake news?
No,
Fake news?
It's all factual.
Okay, yeah, that's wrong. Just like my videos, just like this here, factual.
Well,
This is facts.
real time video.
Exactly. It's not real time, not yet. When you watch the news and you see a tent, what do you think?
Well, it's. I think we should be able to make improvements, real improvements, so that we see less tents. But there's an article just this past few days. So I did read this article just recently, and it was the St. John article, and it talked about the number of homeless on the street, and it talked about they don't want to have a place to go regularly, because if they can't have their drugs to go with them, then they don't want to be there.
Crystal meth.
So yeah, crystal meth in many cases. Right.
You should say it more often.
So then what do we do, Charles? Because for me, again, I would fund any program that we could see people have an avenue to get off the addiction. Like I don't quite understand the process when all we continue to do is kind of support the habit. If we can help people actually change in their lifestyle so that they're improvement and they feel better, they're seeing it, and they get out of the tents ultimately, and they're on a road to recovery, what a program to have. But we're seeing more people on the street. Now, we know that things have changed dramatically over the last couple of years in terms of housing availability with the population growth, but it's like with crystal meth, it's like a new day.
Excuse me.
Certainly.
Yeah,
It's like a new day with crystal meth.
Oh, it's
So I
It's
want to
terrible.
see a solution where we can have an avenue for getting people off addiction.
Why? Do you know? By the way, you were at the medical clinic last week.
Mhm.
Do you know Eric downtown?
Eric.
You know so many people. But
I don't. Maybe he might have been there when I was there. I don't recall.
I'll refresh your memory.
Yeah.
He's a security guy,
Yeah.
a French guy.
Okay.
No, see him?
No. Well, he might at my end, but I don't remember meeting him.
Eric, I asked him. See, I told him before I came here. And he said, "Oh, tell him Eric was there."
Okay,
said,
so
"The
I must
premier."
have met him then.
Frank McKenna didn't even know who I was. He saw me up north. You know people by territory. When you're premier, you don't know people. Okay, focus, Charles. Eric is security in front of the medical clinic.
Yeah. Okay.
Bill Hogan, your minister of public safety.
Yeah.
Me and him went for
Okay.
a walk.
Yeah.
We went for the government house.
Oh yeah.
We came back and I showed him and I told him you should go at Subway, have a sub and watch the King Street Pharmacy and watch with your own eyes what's going on. You should stand beside Eric security for half an hour and just look in the morning. But it's terrible. Moncton, St. John, Fredericton, the Crystal Meth. It's terrible.
So that clinic, and speaking with the doctor and speaking with the
So-called Dr.
FPNs,
Sarah Davison, yeah.
Sarah, yeah, that's correct. And there were nurse practitioners there as well, and several counselors, in different disciplines. So, do you think that clinic's effective?
No.
It's not effective.
Definitely no.
And what would you do differently?
I will fill you in later when we got time. In the year 2525, the bottom line is the area where it's right beside the Victory Meat Market. It attracts a lot. If you have something like that, it's the whole perspective of crystal meth, the dealers and everything, and it's terrible. It's not the place. The old Victoria Hospital, okay, but it's different between opiates and crystal meth. Crystal meth is just destruction, but it's it's just like she, so-called Dr. Sarah Davidson, bought the abortion clinic, want to change it into a rooming house for people in crystal meth beside a school. You got a problem with that?
Well, it seems like a concern, that's for sure. But what does a crystal meth house consist of? Is it a rehabilitation center? Is it managed in terms of, do we have Erics that are overseeing the operation?
You will need,
And in the sense that people just aren't wandering in and out, because we've seen that in Moncton area, right? In the House of Nazareth, we've seen that where people are just coming and going freely.
yes, that's not the place, and
No,
the shelter
no.
not the place. It's every city around. If you could find a solution to Crystal Meth, every New Brunswicker would be a zillionaire. We won't have no more deaths. Your hair will turn black again.
But how would you
talking too
put?
much.
How would you put? And what would you suggest that facility should look like?
It would be first you could bring a horse to water, right? I suggest, because the mental health first as Premier, the Mental Health Act, Section 10, that it said when Frank McKenna shut down Senecare in St. John, you remember that. Under Section 10, if somebody's screaming on the street, you can't touch them because Senecare was shut down. Some genius added Crystal Meth. People on Crystal Meth is a mental illness. So you have cops, you have people going in business, screaming and hollering, 5, 6 cops around them, and they can't be touched because of the Mental Health Act. I would change it. If you see a young person on Crystal Meth, screaming and hollering, you should be able to take care of them until they're well. But if I wish that, when I'm screaming and hollering,
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to be arrested and be put inside a padded cell.
Well, you've got a reputation that people,
Well,
to
but,
keep up.
it could be used the wrong way, just
Yeah,
once.
well, there just
and
once.
Au revoir, bye-bye.
So what would you suggest that you're suggesting that there should be a place of care?
There should be a place of care to take care of them, but the law has to change first. Crystal Meth is not a mental illness, and they're using that as an advantage. And the court system, that's another story. And you have people that goes in court, and this is something without the camera and to discuss with great length. But it's sad to see a young person, and you, as Premier, and I told you before, and Dominic Carty, they say, well, we can't start a campaign, say no to drugs, say no to drugs. No, we're not saying that. They should go to school, have big signs, say no to Crystal Meth. Say no to Crystal Meth. Because it's not like we grew up. It's a different ballgame. If you try it at a party, we took bennies, they'll say no. So you took bennies and then to keep awake. Next thing you know, you vape, Crystal Meth, and then by Wednesday you need more. And it's addictive, just like that. Anything I say may consent, or am I talking too much? Okay, so that's a cabinet shuffle. We're gonna have that.
What do you think?
Dominic Carty doesn't seem to care much about Crystal Meth. More concerned about Ukraine. Huh. Well, there's nothing wrong with being concerned about Ukraine, but this is federal.
Well,
I just thought about that.
He's been very active internationally with the issue in Ukraine. That's true. But I mean, whether in the after a couple of years, sometimes it's looking at any cabinet post. I'm not particularly talking about education. It's I think it's usually beneficial to make some changes.
Yeah, Chris Austin.
What about it?
Don't let me answer that. Chris Austin.
Yeah. What's the question? What's the question?
You tell me what the question is.
Yeah.
Chris Austin.
Yeah. What about?
What about?
Good guy. Glad he joined your team.
I think the guy's going to have a little upper in salary. They still, it's too funny. Okay, you announced a new jail. We have in
That's
here.
quite a while ago.
Yeah, I know. That was what?
Well, he's not exactly on a fast track system.
Hey, tell me about it.
Yeah, but it's not the only answer, right? A jail. But I think the point you
It would
raise.
help.
Well, yes, it would help for a while, but the point you raise is how do you get on a program that actually addresses the mental health issues and the
Yeah.
drug addiction
Yes,
on the
I
street?
did. I got a good memory.
And I don't think a jail is going to be that answer.
Except going